listen to our Toastmaster Bruce. The a company Toastmaster Club, a company Toastmaster Club, Toastmaster Brute, 5 to 7 minutes. Please welcome him.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Have you ever participated in a club based in the company which employed you? Is that something that would interest you? I participated in a club like that, as well as the usual club in Chiang, and today I'm going to describe a bit the differences between them. My corporate club experience was with UNICEF at its New York headquarters. Most of my career was in Africa, but 1 year, 30 years ago, I was assigned to work at headquarters, and it was just my good fortune that particular year, UNICEF decided to promote Toastmasters amongst its staff. The club was probably not very typical of these company-based clubs, but nonetheless, I'm sure there are certain dynamics which are common amongst all of them, and so it's useful that I should describe it. The most obvious characteristic of a club like this is that the membership is composed of employees of the company. This had the advantage that we shared a lot in common. We all had the same employer. We worked in the same building. We had similar working conditions. We shared a mission, and there was a clear hierarchy. No one is totally anonymous in a company-based club. Membership was voluntary. Typically, maybe 10, 12 people would show up at a meeting. I knew one of them before, but the others I would never have noticed, except we shared this passion for self-development. All of us were mid-ranking management or lower. The higher-ups, they sponsored the club, but they never came. No doubt they were busy, but just maybe they were reluctant to step outside of their comfort zone in the presence of so many lower-ranking staff. The advantage of that lack of anonymity is that relationships develop across the organization. So whenever I had an issue which meant dealing with another part of the company, then my Toastmaster friend who was based in that area, he or she would be the one I would go to work out my issue. That proved to be very important to me at a critical moment in my career, which I'm going to tell you about later. Company clubs tend to be top-down affairs. That was certainly the case in UNICEF. This gives the company, the executive, the opportunity to shape the club to their particular needs. In our case, the executive who initiated the club, he hired a consultant to do the organization for him. We did all the usual things, like we did the round robin and the table topics. We prepared speeches and we commented on the speeches of others. But that consultant He monopolized all the leadership roles. No doubt he was being paid, and he wanted to make us dependent on him. We never went and visited any other clubs in the city. This is New York City. There would have been a lot of clubs. And we had no Toastmasters come and visit us. And what's more, we didn't participate in any multi-club competitions. Now, on the positive side, we didn't pay any fees. Maybe the organization paid fees on our behalf, but I doubt it, because when I joined Chiang Toastmasters, the central registry had never heard of me. But the real problem was that we didn't have access to the manual or any of the other materials Toastmasters produces to help us improve systematically. Now that is a major failing. I attribute that failing to the failure of the UNICEF executive who started the club to understand really how Toastmasters works. The one thing I like most about our Toastmasters club, the UNICEF, as in the Chiang Rai and in the online club, which continues to this day, is the relationships which develop amongst our membership. Whenever I met one of my fellow Toastmasters in the UNICEF halls, we would shout out greetings to one another and sometimes stop for a chat. That made my job a lot more personable and fun. Now, I learned too late that I qualified to apply for one of the 2 scholarships that UNICEF sponsors each year. I went to the training section to see if there's anything I could do at this late date. And to my surprise and delight, I discovered that the person responsible for getting the applications together was one of my Toastmaster friends. She promised to sit on the file until she heard from me. So I took advantage of this opportunity to go see my superiors and get their endorsements. And 3 months later, I was on my way for a 1-year study leave to Harvard. That would never have happened without Toastmasters. So long live Toastmasters. I shall forever be grateful to you. Back to you, Toastmaster Dedings.